Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel and spending some time with me on the video. Always very grateful for that. Guys, today we're going to be giving tips and advice on fishing a perch pattern lure. When a perch pattern works good, what the conditions are, because certain times of the year, guys, this is the deal that you want to be throwing, and it's not as obvious as it seems, so we're going to get into that in today's video. Also, guys, I will link my in my description if you guys are interested in get some of these good perch pattern mega basses. I'll link my tackle warehouse description in the link there if you guys want to pick up a few of those. This particular one right here is called the PM Gill Mega Bass Makes, and it's a freaking fish catcher. I catch tons of fish on this color here. Okay, guys, let's talk a little bit about this perch patterns here. Now, first of all, when you're talking about using a perch pattern, you know, I think one of the obvious things people say, well, I need, say they see some bluegills swimming by the shoreline or something like that, and they say, well, I need to use a perch pattern because, you know, the fish are feeding on bluegills. Or maybe they even see you'll see a perch, you know, tail sticking out of a bass's mouth. Guys, don't get locked into the fact that you're using a specific color pattern, like a perch pattern, because the fish are feeding on perch. That's not the way it works. That's one of the big myths in fishing, is people say, well, you need to use like a crawdad imitating lure because the fish are feeding on crawdads, or a shad pattern lure because they're feeding on shad, or a perch pattern or whatever. I have not found that to be true, because bass are opportunistic feeders, and they don't discriminate. If they're swimming down a bank and they see a crawdad by a rock, they're going to try to get it. You know, if they swim down the bank and they see a minnow or a shad swimming by, they may try to dart out and get it. Or if they see a frog hop in the water, they may go after that. They're predators, and they'll go after anything they can think they can catch. But when a perch pattern works the best, it has to do with two different things: your water clarity and your water visibility. You guys hear me talk about this a lot. It's like the two most, there's three factors, guys, that are so important in fishing: water temperature, water clarity, sky conditions, that type of stuff. That determines the colors of lure that you use a lot. So let's talk about when a perch pattern works better. So the time that I use a perch pattern is not because I think the fish are feeding on perch, it's because I've got the right type of water clarity and sky conditions. The scenario that a perch pattern works the best in is if you have water visibility between 1.5 and 2.5 feet of water. Now, I know that that's only a 12-inch or 1 foot difference there. That makes all the difference in the world. If you got, you know, 15, 18 inches of visibility up to 24 inches of visibility, that is a prime scenario for perch pattern. And also with the perch pattern, it works a little bit better if the sunlight conditions, the light intensity is a little bit on the more brighter side. It can be partly cloudy, sunny, whatever, but you need to have a little bit of light intensity combined with that water visibility, 1.5 to 2.5 feet. That is when they bite this thing really, really good. Now, let me give you guys a perfect example. Last year I was fishing, and it was, I think it was June, like that type of thing, and I was catching my fish on a square bowl crankbait up at Stockton Lake. And I started out in the morning actually with a blackback chartreuse side like this. Low light conditions, there was a lot of shade on the water, and I was catching, you know, several fish on this. It lasted probably 2, maybe 3 hours, and the sun started getting up, got a little bit brighter out, and they quit biting it. And I made an lure change adjustment. I went to a shad pattern, and the shad pattern, to me, like I said, there was something about it that just, it didn't look quite right in the water. There's just something, it's sort of my instincts didn't look right in it. So I was digging around in my box. You can see one of my square bill boxes here. And I was just trying to find a color that I thought would match the lure, the water clarity and light conditions. And I put on this perch pattern and started ripping them again. And I was catching them for probably another, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours. And then the sun started getting down a little bit. The shade started coming off the banks, and I started losing my light intensity. They quit biting the perch pattern, and I went back to the black and chartreuse and started catching them again. So that's an example about how lure colors change throughout the day with different type of light intensities. But anyway, guys, this right here, if you get in that situation, I don't care what the water temperature is, it doesn't really matter that much in this particular scenario for whatever bait you're fishing. It could be a deep diving crankbait, it could be a swim bait, it could be whatever, jerk bait, crankbait, whatever. go to the perch pattern if you got 1.5 to 2.5 foot of visibility and some type of a moderate light intensity out there. It's a really good pattern. There's something about the combination of the light intensity and that range of water clarity that makes that bait really attractive to fish. So anyways, give it a try. Hope it helps you guys catch a few. We'll talk later.